Some non-dual speakers talk about how there is no person, that there is no one here, it's just emptiness or fullness. But at the same time, they talk about this idea of the separate self and how that's not who they are. How do you make sense of all this? I'm everything and I'm nothing. I'm everyone and I am no one. Welcome to Russ Rapp's YouTube channel, bringing you new ways of seeing non-duality. But don't worry, I'm not going to speak about myself in the third person for the whole video. I watch a lot of YouTube videos where people speak about non-duality, and oftentimes it can be very confusing. And I think the reason for this is because non-duality itself is a paradox. And so, whether intentionally or not, some non-dual speakers seem to want to have their cake and eat it too. And so when they talk about themselves in the first person, the I, it's in regards to this unity or oneness or a non-person. But then in the same time, they talk about themselves in the third person, so they refer to the personality, the ego, or the separate self. But that's an other, so they don't identify with that. And in a good way that illustrates this is when you see non-dual speakers talk about how they no longer think, or their mind is clear, or they've achieved this state of non-dual awareness. And really that's kind of missing the point. Non-duality has nothing to do with quieting the mind or not having any thoughts or any desires. That has nothing to do with it. So let me be clear. I'm speaking to you about non-duality, but there's nothing that I can give you. There's nothing that you can learn or do with what I'm saying to become more non-dual. And the other videos of people talking about non-duality, there's nothing they can give you because you already have non-duality, because non-duality is what is. Sure, you can have moments of clarity or peak experiences or epiphanies, but that's not really what non-duality is trying to teach. Because what your mind does in those situations is it creates meaning out of those moments. And so you look back and say, oh, I had this peak experience and that sort of thing. But non-duality isn't a state or an experience. It's just a description of what is. And so when it comes to teaching about non-duality, really what it's all about is saying not that. And so what I mean by not that is when you're learning about non-duality, you watch videos, you hear people describe it, and so you say, oh, this is non-duality, or this definition, or this concept, or this experience is non-duality. And what a non-dual teacher is really trying to say, or a speaker, they're really trying to say not that. So it's not this concept, it's not this idea, it's not this experience. And so when you go from that angle, that's where you start to really understand what non-duality is all about. Because when you talk about states and experiences, it's all about you and your experience. It's never about anyone else. So it's all about you achieving something or doing something or becoming something. And that's where people get lost when it comes to non-duality. So you already are non-dual. Existence is non-dual. So if you start from there, you'll understand non-duality. And so when you watch other speakers on YouTube, keep this in mind, that they don't have anything that you don't already have. I love reading your comments, so leave a comment below, and until next time, peace.